Hi everybody, this is Karen Rodriguez and welcome back to Switching to the Robinson Curriculum from, and then we talk about different kinds of curriculums. If you'd like to see the playlist for the rest of the videos in this series, I will link it below, as well as a video that I made talking about each of the approaches a little bit more if you're unfamiliar with them. In this video, we're going to talk about making the switch from just a traditional education, maybe grade levels, textbooks for each and every subject, testing out of them. And so we're going to talk about in what ways it can be similar and very different, and then tips for a smoother transition. So let's get started. All right, so let's talk about the similarities. It is traditional in the way that you're getting information out of books, but they're not textbooks, except for math. Math is traditional using Saxon math. However, it's not used in the same way as in grade levels. You're not calling somewhere ordering a 4th grade curriculum or a 5th grade curriculum, and that's what comes for that year. You don't worry about what grade your child is in. You just have the actual math. You have Saxon 5-4, 6-5, 7-6, and you go through it no matter what age the child is, what grade there is. You're just going at their own individual speed, their timeline. So you can remove the whole grade component of it. If you like the test aspect to traditional education, then you can implement that with the Robinson curriculum. Of course, there are Saxon test forms, and you can choose to do those. Some families do, some families don't. The way other families test for mastery is just how many errors they get per each lesson. And if they get so many errors, then they might have to redo the lesson or make sure they can correct all their problems. However, if you want to do testing, there's obviously Saxon test forms that you can do. One way that Robinson curriculum is very different than traditional, though, is that there is not a textbook for each subject. You don't have a textbook for government, civics. You don't have a textbook on literature. You don't have a textbook on history. The Robinson curriculum book list are your textbooks for all the subjects. Instead of an economics textbook, you'll be reading the law or economics in one lesson. However, if you like the testing aspect of traditional education, there are plenty of test forms included with the Robinson curriculum, and even more that parents have created themselves that are currently available in the Robinson curriculum official Facebook group. So you can go in there and see that there's lots of tests. You can have a test for 5 little peppers and how they grew. Another way that it can be considered traditional is the school day. There's time allocated for reading, writing, and math. So while it may look like a typical traditional homeschool day of 5 hours of desk work, how it actually breaks down is probably not very traditional. 2 hours for math, an hour for writing, 2 hours for reading, and they're doing all of that on their own. There's no formal writing program. There are no textbooks for every subject. So tips on how to make the transition a little bit more smoothly. I mentioned before that if you feel more comfortable with tests and having tests, that there's testing there available for you. And as far as writing, you are grading your child's essay in a way. You're giving them feedback. You're helping them to fix their errors and be better writers. Or if you feel they are missing out on certain subjects, then you can obviously cover that in your non-school time throughout the day. And I'm sure that you won't worry about it as much. And when you see how they really take responsibility for their own education and seek after the information that they want to learn, then you will feel rest assured and at peace with the decision to cut out a lot of the extra subjects. Now, if your concern is that you have to fill in a more in-depth educational plan, a transcript, something that you have to submit to your local educational board, then plenty of other parents have done the work for you. There's lots of kind of ready-made transcripts and what it can look like for a 1st grader and 2nd grader, what books to put for each of those subjects: history and geography, science, economics, government if you're older. There are books for all of those subjects where you can make a really nice transcript. And again, all those resources are included in the Robinson Curriculum official Facebook group. Okay, everybody, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please leave them in the comments below. I will do my best to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for another video. Bye.